When most people think of the moon landing, the steps taken by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin often get the most attention. However, before either of those men made history, they needed the support and work of engineers and mathematicians. Katherine Johnson did many of the calculations needed to put rockets and the men inside of them into space. Katherine was the youngest of 4 children. She grew up in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. However, when the kids graduated from the 8th grade, the family had to move to the town of Institute because there were no high schools near them that would teach African American children. Katherine scored very well in math class. She graduated high school at the age of 14 and immediately enrolled in college at West Virginia State. She took every math class that the school offered. When she finished all of them, they created new ones just for her. She graduated summa cum laude, which means she finished in the top 5% of her class. Being so good at math made Katherine perfect for the job of human computer. In the 1950s, there were no smartphones, no laptops, or even desktop computers. To design a machine like a rocket and send it to a place like space, you need to calculate weight, wind speed, force, and do all of that by hand with pencil and paper. Can you believe it? It took rooms full of people doing many math equations to figure out that everything that needed to happen for a rocket to blast off into space. If they got it wrong, it would be a disaster. People would die. Katherine Johnson was one of the best human computers there ever was. She was so good that when NASA eventually switched over to electronic computers, she was the one person they trusted to double-check the machine's calculations to make sure the numbers were correct. Early on, when they said they wanted the capsule to come down at a certain place, they were trying to compute when it should start. I said, let me do it. You tell me when you want it and where you want it to land, and I'll do it backwards and tell you when to take off. Katherine Johnson may have had a brilliant mind, but she still had to fight against the racial discrimination of segregation laws and the backwards thinking of sexism. Many men at NASA did not believe she belonged there. In the end, she proved them wrong. She worked at the space agency until 1986. During that time, she helped put the first U.S. astronaut into space. She landed men on the moon and designed parts of the space shuttle. Very few people have had a massive of an impact on space exploration as Katherine Johnson. Part of her story was told by the acclaimed Hollywood movie Hidden Figures in 2016. She has 2 NASA facilities named in her honor. Recently, a spacecraft named the SS Katherine Johnson was used to resupply the International Space Station.